name's Chris. I've been having dreams that I believe are from God for about, I would say like 20 years. But recently, they've kind of filtered out. I haven't been having any. And I think it's because I haven't been sharing them. You know, when you have a dream from God, you just can't forget it. And the details are very vivid, and you feel it very strongly in your spirit. I've actually had some that were warnings personally for me that have come to pass. And so I know when God's speaking to me and He's telling me something. Others will mock you and say, people that don't believe. But I know that I need to be obedient and share what He has shared with me. I don't want to stand before Him one day and have Him say, why didn't you share this? You might have helped one person. And if I can be a blessing to one person, then I want to be that blessing. I don't want my life to just be about me in the end. If it's just about me, then I've lived my life in vain. So I want it to be about Jesus Christ. I've got a lot of dreams, and I would like to be able to share them with someone, because there's some of them that I need help interpreting. There's some of them that I understand very clearly, and then there's others that I'm just hoping to find somebody that would say, hey, I think it could be this or it could be that. The first dream, though, that I think I'm going to share is actually a Rapture dream that I had. I had this back in, I think, September of 2015. And it was so real, so vivid. I actually thought it was happening to me. I've never had a dream that was that real to me. It was an amazing dream. And I'm just going to share it. My dream started off, I wasn't in this home. I was actually in the very first home that my husband and I lived in when we were first married in 1992. And I was walking by a window, and it had, the shades were drawn, but I could see light streaming through them. It was nighttime, but there was a lot of light shining through. So I decided to pull back the shades and look and see what was going on. And it was a full moon, and it looked kind of like a harvest moon. It was had that orangey glow to it, and it was so bright though, and there's so many stars. That was like all the stars were just coming forward. The sky was so bright. It just lit it up almost like it was daytime. And I decided to walk outside because I wanted to see, get a better look at this. And all of a sudden, the stars just started going crazy in the sky. I don't know if it was actually like an earthquake happening, and the earth was shaking, or if the stars were shaking. But all of a sudden, the stars just started going crazy and started falling and going all over the place. And I get outside and I'm looking up, and I see by the moon, I see like this cloud that looks different, and it looks like someone's standing on it. And it starts coming closer and closer, and I realize it's Jesus. He's standing on this cloud, and this cloud has like a rainbow all around his feet. And he was so majestic and beautiful. And this cloud keeps coming closer, and I start yelling. I'm yelling to my daughters. They're both in their 20s, but I start yelling at them. I'm like, it's happening right now. It's rapture, it's happening. And I start laughing with joy and just shouting. And by this time, a bunch of people are coming out of their homes, and they're standing in the streets, and they're looking up, and you can hear everybody just in awe. They can't believe what's happening. And my oldest daughter comes out, and she too, she's just in awe of what we're seeing. We can't believe this, it's really happening. And I call for my youngest daughter, and she comes out, and we're standing us staring up at the sky, and I start reaching my hands out toward Jesus, and he reaches his hand out toward us. And by this time, he's really close, and you can see him up in the sky, so clearly. It was just beautiful. He was just glowing. It was amazing. And when he reached out his hands toward us, it's like this blue lightning shot out and hit every one of us who believed. And instantly, we were transformed. And I remember feeling my body being thrown back and feeling that complete transformation of going from that to your perfect body, and instantly we were gone. And I remember, it's like afterwards, it's like all of us Christians, all of us that were raptured, it was like we were in this huge room waiting to be ushered into someplace else. And I remember actually calling out to one of my sisters because I wanted to know if she was there, and she was. But right after that, the scene changed, and I could see back on earth. And there was a man on the other side of the street who thought he was ready to go in the rapture, but he wasn't. And I got to see, it's like it rewound a little bit, and I got to see it from his perspective. He was standing there, and he thought he was going to be ready, and he wasn't. And I remember him just crying out to God, come back, don't let me be left behind. And then the scene changed again, and I got to see, it was like the beginning of winter, and I saw all these military tanks, and just a little bit of frost or snow on the ground here and there. And I heard the words, it's the beginning of World War III. And that was it, and I woke up. But it was so realistic. I mean, when I woke up, I thought, I was kind of confused because I really thought it was happening. It was an amazing dream. And I shared that with my family. But I know I need to do more than just share with my family. I'm supposed to share with others. I don't want to just keep things to myself. I want to be a blessing to others too. God also then, I'm going to just share this real quick. About January of this year, 2016, I noticed I wasn't spending as much time with God as I should. And I don't know what was going on, but I just wasn't spending the time with him that I normally do. And I had another dream, and it started off exactly the same way as my rapture dream. I mean, it was following it to a T. But when it got to the point of being raptured, I didn't make it. I didn't. And I remember falling on my knees, sobbing and crying out to God, come back, don't leave me, don't leave me. And I remember my daughters ran up to try to comfort me, but then they were gone. They got raptured. And after rapture, I saw there was no electricity, no running water, no heat. And I know it must have been a little bit colder outside because I saw my husband wasn't taken either, and it was with a few other people that were left behind, and we were sitting around in an abandoned building, and we created a fire in the abandoned building to stay warm. And I'm just trying to figure out how to get a hold of people, to see who got left behind and who didn't. What got me the most is I have never felt such utter despair ever in my life. It was, once again, it was so realistic. I thought it was happening. Number one, I felt like I had failed God. I thought I failed him. I didn't live as I should. I knew I need to be watching, and I knew that I need to be seeking him daily. I knew that it was my fault, that my relationship with him had gotten wishy-washy. I knew that I had failed him in what I was created for, and that was to be a light and witness for him. And it devastated me. It broke my heart. And then on top of that, you're left behind, and you're going to have to go through 7 years of despair. I mean, that basically, you're going to live through some horrendous things, and you're going to have to die for him. And but that wasn't the worst part, knowing I was going to die for him. It was knowing I failed him, and then having this complete hopelessness. That there's not another chance for this. I blew it. I wasn't doing what I was supposed to do. And I woke up from my dream from that, and it set me back on the right path. I will say that. Just to, it's not that I had fallen away, but I had just gotten lazy in some of my things. And this is not the time to be lazy. I know a lot of people don't believe that the Lord's going to come back, but he is. And if you read the Bible and you study Revelations or anywhere, I mean, the rapture is just not in Revelations, it's throughout the New Testament, and you see it in the Old Testament. It's throughout the Bible. And if you read it, you can't help but look around and see the signs. He's coming back. I don't know the day. I don't know the hour. Only, our Abba Father knows that. But I want to be on my guard. I want to be on my watch. I want to do whatever I can to share the truth of who he is, because my life is centered around him. He's my everything. I'm not perfect, but he's the reason I live and breathe. He's my hope. He's my joy. He's my peace. He's my everything. I've lived a life outside of him, and I couldn't find meaning for anything. I felt hopeless. And now that I know him, and I have that relationship with him, he's the reason why I can wake up every day and put a smile on my face, because I have hope in every situation. It doesn't mean I don't go through trials and tribulations. I would definitely have my share. It just means that I have hope. I have hope in everything because I have him. So, you can make any comments that you want on this. I do have other dreams that I really want some help with that I want to share. But more than anything, I just want to be obedient, and I just want to share what he's given me. So I just pray that all of you that watch this are blessed today. And if you don't know him, that you seek him and find him, because I tell you, there's not a greater gift out there than to know Jesus Christ as your Lord and Savior. So I pray that you have a blessing-filled day. Bye.